In a whirlwind saga that's capturing headlines and sparking heated debates among stock market aficionados, OpenAI might just be on the brink of another monumental shift. It has been going through a roller coaster of announcements and dire predictions for a while now, coming from various longtime investors and experts. Reports have surfaced indicating that the artificial intelligence behemoth is teetering on the edge of bankruptcy by the end of the year, with a staggering projection of $5 billion in losses. Seems like a completely and utterly unsalvageable situation that promises a very dark future for AI and its technological advances, right? Well, you better hold your horses there, you who has absolutely no patience and is wishing the worst on the new generation, because in a twist that could only be scripted by a master storyteller, the company is simultaneously in talks to raise funding that could catapult its market valuation to an eye-watering $100 billion. And the names of the saviors will shock you. Big names like Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia are buzzing around the potential investment like bees to honey. But the final outcomes are still anybody's guess. Let's dive deeper into this financial melodrama, shall we? Hello everyone and welcome back to Investocracy.
Nvidia is obviously not the only one looking at participating in the financing, but it is just the week of Nvidia. So
that's right. Yeah, Nvidia, of course, in focus on earnings, but this was a story that came out as well overnight that it could be looking at investing in OpenAI, and it would be joining, if it does go ahead, Apple and Microsoft as well. Microsoft, we know, is already OpenAI's biggest backer, and they've invested about $13 billion to date. Nvidia, though, is looking to invest about $100 million, so it's of course far shy from that. The valuation could be around $100 billion or even higher for the company. Of course, if those discussions do move forward, because this is all based on sources right now, but if they do move forward, it means that you've got the three most valuable tech companies in the world backing OpenAI, which is the maker, of course, of ChatGPT that came up nearly 2 years ago now. But certainly something to be watching, given they've all got sort of different ties already. Microsoft, that backer, they've integrated OpenAI across the platform. You've got Apple that's integrating ChatGPT into its Apple Intelligence system, and then Nvidia, of course, we know supplies all of the critical infrastructure that's needed to power those AI tools like ChatGPT.
The tale of OpenAI is one for the ages. Imagine a company skyrocketing in market valuation from $29 billion in 2023 to a hefty $80 billion in less than a year. This is largely attributed to the unparalleled success of ChatGPT, which has arguably become the most popular AI-powered chatbot globally. Adding more feathers to its cap, OpenAI launched sophisticated AI models like DALL-E 3 and Sora, broadening its reach from text to image and video generation. Yet, beneath this glittery exterior lies a foundation that's showing signs of stress. Despite generating an impressive $3.5 billion in revenue and enjoying discounted access to Microsoft's Azure services, OpenAI faces projections of a $5 billion loss. To stay afloat, it might need another round of funding. Microsoft's ongoing involvement is a fascinating facet of the story. The tech giant has already poured billions into OpenAI, but the relationship has its complications. Microsoft now lists OpenAI as a competitor in AI and search technologies. It's like a soap opera, but with more zeros involved. OpenAI's future seems more uncertain than we thought, or so we did think. But before we go any further, if you want to keep up with Nvidia's latest updates and keep up with the stock market's latest news, you can follow our Twitter account. We post multiple times daily about the biggest changes and catalysts in the market, so click the follow button if you don't want to miss the newest market updates.
Any awards from OpenAI?
Actually, OpenAI has discussed the possibility of raising further financing. That's again according to sources. But what we understand is that the CFO, Sarah Fry, sent out a note on Wednesday talking about the company looking to seek fresh capital. The company, as we have been reporting at Bloomberg, has been in discussions, as I said, to raise financing at a valuation north of $100 billion. It seems that they're sticking with that for now. And what they would be looking to use the funds for is to acquire more computing power and also to fund other operating expenses.
as you mentioned, the three biggest tech companies in the world all investing in. Are there going to be regulatory issues here?
It's possible. I mean, as you say, yeah, it from a headline basis, it doesn't sound that great, really. And then we've already seen, for instance, in the EU in particular, Microsoft's role or pact with OpenAI starting to face scrutiny there because there's concerns around exclusivity and whether that's also holding out or holding off competition in the space. But certainly this is something to be watching quite closely, the risk that we do see regulatory scrutiny if, again, as we say, they move ahead, Microsoft, Apple and Nvidia to back OpenAI.
According to CNBC, OpenAI is currently engaged in talks to raise more funds, potentially pushing its valuation over the $100 billion mark. Wall Street Journal reports that Microsoft is likely to participate, but remains tight-lipped about the exact figure. And if this tale of titans wasn't riveting enough, Apple and Nvidia are reportedly eyeing participation in OpenAI's round of funding too. Apple, which has been relatively slow to the AI party, is leveraging OpenAI's technology for its Apple Intelligence service. Nvidia, on the other hand, supplies the much-needed GPUs that power both OpenAI and Microsoft's AI aspirations. It seems like a Cold War of sorts, with both sides showing their own level of support to gain different favors and leverages over the competition. Or perhaps it could be that all these big companies are seeing the true value of a future with AI technology and are securing their investments and making sure the horse does not get tired when the race is just getting started. This might be the exact shot of adrenaline that AI needs to prove to all the naysayers that it is a technology that is here to stay, and you better ride the wave or risk drowning in FOMO.
Brett, how would a board meeting look for OpenAI? Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia. I mean, this is turning into a situation where I would argue $100 billion is not going to be the end game here. You have all these deep-pocketed tech companies potentially pouring money into OpenAI. Why not a $200 billion valuation? Why not a $300 billion valuation?
Well, I mean, look, you've got, as you're pointing out here, all your frenemies at one table potentially here, depending upon who gets access to the board, who gets seats, who is just a special advisor, and privy to the conversations that are taking place with OpenAI, which is absolutely revolutionizing, even at the consumer level, the thought process around generative AI via ChatGPT. And Microsoft was early to the game with this one. And so for OpenAI, we were talking about this yesterday, the potential for this round to really cement them as a $100 billion valuation in the private markets, which is a hectacorn. Move over unicorns and decacorns. You don't matter anymore. Hectacorns.
I never heard of that.
$100 billion. I mean, there's only 3 or 4 of them. This would be the 4th. I think that we ultimately have seen SpaceX be able to get into that lexicon. A few other companies, ByteDance is in that as well. Shein. Oh, I mean, my goodness. When's the last time you've heard of a fabric company as a, not fabric company, but a clothing retailer?
Who would you pick? If you had a choice between like 2 advisors on the board, I mean, Tim Cook or Satya Nadella, I'm going to have to go with Tim Cook. I'm feeling Tim Cook's vibes. I mean, he got us the Apple Watch, he got us the iPhone. Maybe Satya's like maybe more deeper into the AI
I think
stuff.
Satya, actually.
Yeah.
I think they have more businesses that they have to be concerned about at Microsoft, and Satya might give them a little bit of
They do have LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. Big LinkedIn fan.
LinkedIn, the growth at LinkedIn doesn't get talked about enough,
No, it doesn't.
actually.
No, it doesn't.
And that is an AI business as well, or starting to become one within the mask or the veil of a social networking professional.
Well, whenever, we were just talking about Dell, and real quickly, when I hear these valuations on OpenAI, I think it validates the moves you've seen in Dell, some of those second derivative type of AI infrastructure plays. I mean, OpenAI is doing real work, and some would argue it's scary work, but nonetheless, it's work that's happening, and it's really fundamentally changing how businesses get done.
All right.
In an ironic twist, the two companies have reportedly invested $100 billion in a project called Stargate to reduce their reliance on Nvidia's chips. It's like planning an escape route from a kingdom while still being loyal subjects. Speaking of Nvidia, the company finds itself in a precarious position, struggling to meet the surging demand for AI chips. With more companies clamoring to join the AI bandwagon, alternative solutions are in dire need. The competition between Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia is even more fascinating as all three have had fleeting moments of being the world's most valuable company. So what does all of this mean for stock investors in the 3 big companies? The answer is easy. But before going through it, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
For value, he says lean into software names such as Salesforce. Top picks include Microsoft and Apple. Yes, he's Dan Ives, Wedbush Securities analyst, and he's right here at Post 9. I think you've outdone yourself today. We're going to have to get a full shot at some point, including the Japanese, the sneakers.
Yep.
Painted in Japan, I believe.
Yeah,
correct?
Japanese. Yeah, exactly. From an artist in Japan. So we could do the full shot.
We can get to that in a minute. But let's talk about why you continue to see and be the bullish Dan Ives that you have been for quite some time.
Look, and it speaks to our view going into the year. And NASDAQ 20,000 is ultimately where I think we head. Tech stocks up another 15% because even though this has been led by Godfather of AI, Jensen, Nvidia, the multiplier for every dollar spent on Nvidia chip, $8 to $10 flowing through the rest of tech. Software, infrastructure, semis, and I think now consumer AI revolution with what's happening in Apple. In my opinion, it is 9 p.m. in the AI party that goes to 4 a.m. And I think this tech market, bull market's going to continue.
How long does it take to get to 4 a.m. though?
I think in our opinion, it's a 2-year tech bull market because I think the next phase, the second, third, fourth derivatives, it's about the use cases playing out. Of course, you see what's happening with Microsoft, the hyperscalers, Google, Amazon, but then next, it's going to be names like Palantir, MongoDB. I think what McDermott's doing at ServiceNow. You look at Oracle. If someone told you Dell was an AI name 6 months ago, they'd say there's no way. Look at it today. And I think it's a 1995 moment, not a 1999 moment. I think numbers go up significantly going into next year, and it speaks to our view where the bears will continue to yell in their caves about valuation with their spreadsheets, but I think this tech market continues to move higher.
So why should you, the savvy investor, care about these developments? The financial stakes couldn't be higher. If OpenAI secures the funding it desperately needs, it won't just survive. It could potentially rival the mammoth market caps of its investors and partners. The company's groundbreaking technologies have disrupted various industries, setting new standards and prompting older corporations to innovate or face obsolescence. Currently, the stock associated with OpenAI is riding high on speculation and solid growth projections. According to reports, its valuation could very well eclipse the $100 billion mark, depending on the outcomes of these fundraising talks. Analysts are bullish, predicting further leaps in revenue once OpenAI deploys its new models and captures additional market share. In the realm of AI, standing still is equivalent to moving backward, and OpenAI has no plans to halt its rapid pace of innovation. Are you intrigued yet? Perhaps eager to weigh in? Let us know your thoughts on this unfolding narrative. Your insights could be as valuable as the next hot stock tip. Let's see where this exciting saga takes us next. And finally, if you would like to know what companies like Nvidia, Microsoft, and Apple have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen.